Good evening and welcome to our live coverage of the latest update on the US election. I'm Sabrina, and tonight we'll be focusing on the key moments leading up to Election Day. With the race in full swing, much of the attention is on swing states like Florida, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. Crucial battlegrounds where the election could be decided. Both parties are ramping up efforts to secure as many electoral votes as possible, and voter turnout is going to be critical. Throughout tonight's program, we'll take a closer look at the strategies of the Democratic and Republican campaigns. We'll hear from voters and get expert analysis on the issues that could influence the outcome of this election. But first, let's go to our field reporter, Putra, who's with the Democratic campaign in Washington, D.C. Putra, what can you tell us about the situation on the ground?
Thank you, Sabrina. I'm standing here within the Democrats in the Ellipse, which is north of the White House, where the Democratic campaign is in full swing, maximizing its efforts to mobilize voters as we rapidly approach Election Day. With the stakes incredibly high in this election cycle, the party is sparing no effort in delivering its message on a range of critical issues, including healthcare reform, economic recovery, and the urgent need to address climate change. These key topics have been the centerpiece of the Democratic platform, relating with many voters who see this election as a turning point for the country's future. One of the party's primary strategies here has been to focus heavily on driving voter turnout, particularly among groups that have historically faced barriers to participation or lower turnout rates, such as young voters, first-time voters, and communities of color. Over the past few weeks, we have seen an extensive network of volunteers work tirelessly, often around the clock, to reach as many potential voters as possible. They have been knocking on doors, making phone calls, and leveraging social media to remind people about registration deadlines and the availability of early voting options. This effort has been accompanied by a robust push to educate voters about the importance of their participation in deciding this state's role in the broader electoral college landscape. With this state's electoral votes playing a potentially decisive role in determining the outcome of the presidential race, the Democrats know that every vote counts. In addition to these grassroots efforts, the campaign has been hosting rallies, town halls, and virtual events to energize supporters and create a sense of urgency around the election. Many of the supporters we've spoken to on the ground have expressed a strong sense of enthusiasm and commitment to the Democratic platform, particularly its emphasis on social justice, economic equity, and meaningful reform across a variety of areas. These individuals have seen this election not only as a chance to address immediate concerns, but also as an opportunity to make lasting changes that will impact future generations. Their passion is evident in their words and actions, as they share personal stories about why this election matters to them and why they feel it's so important for their voices to be heard. At the same time, it's clear that the competition here is intense. Republicans are putting up a strong fight, putting significant resources into their own campaign to win over undecided voters and consolidate. This has set the stage for a fiercely contested battle in the days leading up to the election. Both parties know the pivotal importance of this state, and their strategies show the high stakes involved. We will be watching closely as these efforts unfold and as campaigns on both sides wrap up their messaging to secure as much support as possible before voters head to the polls. As the final days of today's campaign play out, it's clear that the energy and determination on the ground will play a crucial role in shaping the outcome. Back to you, Sabrina.
Thank you, Putra, for the update from the ground. Now, joining us tonight in the studio is political analyst, Miss Helga. Welcome, Miss Helga. It's great to have you here with us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Miss Sabrina. It's certainly a critical time for the election, and there's a lot to unpack.
Absolutely. Let's start with the state of the race. We're seeing fluctuating numbers in polling data, especially in the battleground states. How should we interpret these numbers as we get closer to election day?
Well, as we've seen in a previous election, the real battle often happening in swing states. There are the states that do not consistently vote for one party and can easily sway the overall result of the election. Polls in critical battleground like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Arizona are incredibly close right now, with only few percentage of points separating the candidate. Historically, these states have been decisive in tipping the electoral college, and this election is shaping up to be no different. Now let's talk about the voter mobilization. At this stage, it's not about the message but also about ensuring that supporters actually show up to vote. But parties are pulling up all the stuff with ground games, phone bank, and targets advertising campaigns. For instance, like Pennsylvania's urban center tend to lean Democratic, but turns out in rural areas, often Republican stronghold, can easily counterbalance that if mobilization efforts are strong. And the Electoral College, as you know, adds another layer of complexity. A candidate can win the popular vote but still lose presidency if they fail to secure enough electoral votes. This creates enormous pressure on campaigns to focus their research strategically rather than spreading them evenly across all states. We're also witnessing how this system amplifies the significance of swing stage and further heightening the stakes there. And another factor that worth noting is early voting. This election has seen an unpredicted push for early voting, both in person and by mail. In many states, we're already seeing the record breaking numbers, and analysts are closely watching early voting trends as they provide valuable insight into voter enthusiasm and possible outcomes. For instance, in Arizona, early voting data show a higher turnout amongst young voters compared to 2016, which could indicate a shift in dynamics. And we must consider how campaigns are adapting to last minute development. Polling shift, major news story, and even debates can significantly influence voters' sentiment. In closing days of the campaign, both parties are likely fine tuning their strategies, focusing on their ground name, and trying to make that final persuasive push. What happened in the next 48 to 7 to 72 hours could be critical in determining the trajectory of this election. While the Electoral College will ultimately decide the winner, its voters turnout, strategic campaign, and the ability to adapt quickly that will likely determine which candidate cross the finish line first. And we've learned from past election anything can happen. So it's important to stay tuned until every vote is counted.
Interesting. And how do you think the recent debates have influenced voter behavior? Have they made a significant impact?
The debates have undoubtedly stirred the pot, injecting new energy and focus into the race. They've provided voters with a much clearer lens through which to view the candidates' contrasting position, particularly on the key issues like healthcare, the economy, and national security. For instance, the healthcare debates has highlighted stark differences, with one candidate advocating for expanded government programs and the other emphasizing private market solution. These distinctions aren't just policy discussion, there are fundamental ideological divides that resonate deeply with the voters. With what especially interesting is how these debates have affected voter behavior. For some, the debates reinforce pre-existing loyalties, solidifying their commitment to their chosen candidate. For others, particularly independent and swing voters, has debates may have been a deciding factor or at least cause them to reconsider their option. This segment of the electoral is incredibly influential. Their votes can often determine the outcome in tight race, especially in battleground stage. Moreover, the debates have intensified polarization between two parties, and the tone and rhetoric during the events often reflect the broader division within the country, and these years have been no exception. Each candidate has worked hard to energize their base, using debate moment to underscore their platform and paint their opponent in a negative light. However, the real challenge lies in striking a balance is energizing loyal supporters while still appealing to undecided voter who may be turned off by overly aggressive tactics. Another crucial aspect to watch is how campaigns follow up after debates. A strong debate performance can create a momentum, but that energy needs to be sustained through target messaging and on the ground effort. For instance, social media platforms are buzzing with clips, fact check, and commentary dissecting every word and gesture. Campaign terms note that these viral moments can reach voters who didn't watch the debates live, potentially swaying opinion days or even weeks after the fact. Finally, and the debates is also serve a litmus test for each candidate's ability to handle pressure, think on their feet, and connect with the public. These qualities matter not just to their base but also voters seeking reassurance that the person they choose can lead effectively in high stakes situations. And the debates are more than just a spectacle. They are pivotal events that can shift into dynamics or of the race, whether by energizing loyalties, swaying the undecided, or reframing key issues. They play a significant role in shaping the narrative as we head into the final stretch of the election. It's fascinating dynamics to watch, and one of the that underscores that high stakes of every word spoken on the stage.
That was such a great insight, Miss Helga. Thank you for your analysis. We'll be sure to keep an eye on those numbers as the days count down.
Your turn, honey.
In the one place in America where women still have a right to choose, you can vote any way you want, and no one will ever know.
Did you make the right choice?
Sure did, honey.
Remember, what happens in the booth stays in the booth. Vote Harris Walls. Vote Common Good is responsible for the contents of this ad.
Starting on day one, we will defeat inflation quickly and we will make America affordable again. I will cut your energy costs in half. It's time for the working man and woman to finally catch a break. We are going to bring back the American dream bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. When I'm back in the White House, we will restore world peace, and it will be again peace through strength. I will launch the largest deportation program in American history. And we'll put these vicious and bloodthirsty criminals in jail or kick them the hell out of our country. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. We all salute the same great American flag. Our best days are yet to come. Together, we will make America great again.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
Welcome back. As we continue our coverage, let's quickly summarize some of the most recent updates. With early voting already underway, both parties are working hard to secure the electoral votes they need to win. The next few days are crucial for shaping the final voter turnout trends. Now, we'll head back to our field reporter, Lina, who's with the Republican campaign in Montgomery, Alabama. Lina, what are you seeing in terms of their strategy and how they're working to rally their base?
The Fox News decision desk can now officially project that Donald Trump will become the 47th President of the United States.
Okay, thank you, Sabrina. I'm here in Montgomery, Alabama, where the Republican Party is making a big last-minute push to connect with voters ahead of Election Day. The energy here is really something. Campaign signs are everywhere, volunteers knocking on doors, and there's this real sense that they know just how high the stakes are. Their focus has been on issues like economic recovery, tax reform, and national security, which are the topics they believe will really hit home for their supporters, especially in key suburban areas. So I've been talking to people all day, and there's a mix of determination and optimism as they work to rally as many voters as possible. So joining me now, Miss Talitha, a local resident who's been deeply involved in the campaign efforts here. So Miss Talitha, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. Can you tell me what's driving your support for the Republican Party this year?
First of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to share my perspectives. I'm supporting the Republican Party because I strongly believe in the principles of smaller government and lower taxes. Um, to me, those are the essentials for creating a thriving economy that benefits everyone. um, the economy is my top priority, so um, I feel that the Republican Party, particularly, they have like policies that particularly those that focus on reducing regulations and fostering a business-friendly environment. are the best way to ensure job growth and economic stability in this country. So I think that's why we need like that's why I support the Republican Party.
Well, that's interesting. Now we've seen both parties working hard to boost voter turnout. How important it is for you to vote this year, and what are you seeing in your community?
This election is incredibly important because it has the potential to shape the future of our country in significant ways. That's why I'm committed to make sure that my voice is being heard. I firmly believe that every vote matters and it's our responsibility to participate in shaping the policies that will affect us in the future. I'm in my community, I've noticed a tremendous amount of energy and activity leading to the elections. Volunteers are working tirelessly, going door to door and reminding people about the importance of voting. uh, it is inspiring for me to see so many people coming together with a shared, purpose and dreams and all that. The Republican message resonates deeply with a lot of people here in this community, especially when it comes to the key issues like protecting our economy and securing the borders. These priorities are crucial for ensuring the strong, stable future and that will align with our values and, you know, the beliefs of the community here that we hold dearly. This is an important moment, and I'm positive about what we can always do by standing together and making our voices heard. This election is incredibly important because it has the potential to shape the future of our country in significant ways. That's why I'm committed to make sure that my voice is being heard. I firmly believe that every vote matters and it's our responsibility to participate in shaping the policies that will affect us in the future. I'm in my community, I've noticed a tremendous amount of energy and activity leading to the elections. Volunteers are working tirelessly, going door to door and reminding people about the importance of voting. uh, it is inspiring for me to see so many people coming together with a shared, purpose and dreams and all that. The Republican message resonates deeply with a lot of people here in this community, especially when it comes to the key issues like protecting our economy and securing the borders. These priorities are crucial for ensuring the strong, stable future and that will align with our values and, you know, the beliefs of the community here that we hold dearly. This is an important moment, and I'm positive about what we can always do by standing together and making our voices heard.
Thank you so much, Miss Talitha. So it's clear that voter turnout is shaping up to be one of the most critical factors in this election, particularly in issues like the economy and national security remain on top of mind for so many Americans. And from what we're seeing here, there's a real sense of urgency, not just among the campaigns, but also among voters who recognize what at stake. And as we move into this final days before election day, It will be crucial to watch how these issues resonate and whether they succeed in energizing key voter groups, especially in suburban and swing areas. Also, we'll continue to monitor developments here and see how they unfold. Back to you, Sabrina.
Thank you, Lina, for the comprehensive update. As we've heard tonight, both parties are working hard to mobilize voters, secure electoral votes, and push their core message to the American public. Whether it's voter turnout or swing state dynamics, the next few days are critical. We'll continue to monitor these developments closely and bring you more updates as we move closer to Election Day. Remember, your vote matters. Be sure to head to the polls or cast your vote early if you haven't already. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll keep you informed as the race unfolds. Stay tuned for more coverage. I'm Sabrina, and this is your election coverage. Good night.